What's up, catfish people? I hope everybody's doing good today. Beautiful Monday. At least beautiful in the sense that it's not raining. We're very happy that we got a day without rain. So I don't know how long that's gonna last. I think we're supposed to get some rain later on in the week. So taking advantage of it. If you follow my channel and watch it any, you probably hadn't seen me in a month. Well, I was on the other day, but I hadn't been fishing any. It's been busy between work, Daytona 500, Catfish Conference. That was going on. Yeah, that thing. And then more work. So finally in a little break, a little lull, and I'm out here fishing. So got a couple of things I'm gonna show you. I got some new products I'm trying out that some people have sent me, and bring you up to date on what the heck's going on. Yes, and did amazing. Somebody said, oh, we did some fishing on Wylie and did amazing. Well, I'm glad you did amazing because my fishing sucks today. I have not caught a fish yet. I got out late in the afternoon and had been doing some drifting, and I've not caught a fish. So we're at a big skunk right now. Hopefully, y'all can change my luck. Maybe if some people jump in here and send me some love. This is the first time I've been out in a while. It's been, I think it was a month, Sunday or Saturday, since I've had a chance to do any fishing. I think I missed some on some good stuff on some days, and not so bad on the others. It's been hit or miss, up and down. Obviously, we've had a lot of stuff with the rain. What's up, Dustin? How are you doing, buddy? Hope life is treating you well. Thanks for dropping by to say howdy. I'm out, I'm anchored up now. I've been dragging in the afternoon. I probably covered about a mile and a half of water. Never got a bite. Everything from a creek mouth to some river channel stuff, and no luck. So what I did was came over here and decided to do some anchoring. Was actually running up to try a place shallow and just to see if some fish are pushed up on the bank. And was coming up through here and looked down at my sonar. And as I crossed into the, ooh, I wonder what that is. Let's see what that is. What is that on the sonar? Ooh, that's underneath the boat right now. Don't know what that is. Not super big, we'll see. Anyway, I was running up through here and crossed over a little dip in this river, and boom, even at speed, I was picking up a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff stacked up in the river channel. I think some may be crappie, some may be gizzard shad. So anyway, yes, Patriot James, I can see you. You are showing up in my feed, so you're visible and everything's working good. James had an issue with him showing up in some feeds, but he's in there now. So yeah, and it's just a second. I'm gonna show you some new products that I got that I'm trying out. Non-paid endorsements, but some stuff people sent me to try out. I put a call out a little bit ago for some of the Demon Dragon style lures and rattles, and I got some. So I'm trying those out, messing with them. And I got some other stuff, but yeah, it's just, I'm trying to see what's going on with the fishing. I hadn't been out here in a month, so I'm trying to figure it out. And that's usually what I do, is start out dragging and drifting. And today it did not produce anything. So I came up here into a river arm, gonna try this. Anyway, I know what I was saying. I was coming up through here, cross over the river channel because it kind of zigs through here, and where it dropped down from where I'm running from about 12 feet down to about 25 feet, boom, there was stuff there. So I just came off the throttle, look, and there's some stuff in here. Whether it's, how many catfish are in here, I don't know. How many of them are hungry, I don't know. So we'll see. Catfish Bill in the house, Troy, Thomas, bunch of people. Glad to see y'all all are doing good. Quick reminder that here in about an hour and a half, Catfish Weekly will be on here on YouTube, so be sure to check that out. I'll probably be off the water by then and heading back to the house, and I'll probably see y'all in the chat. So that's at 8 o'clock here on YouTube. But I'll show you what I got. Over here, I'll give you the rundown on the whole setup. That's a Ancient Mariner reel. I think they call it a 6000 series. Big Cat Fever rod. This is the medium action white one. This one has Andy line on it, 30-pound monster. And what was sent to me was by the people at Firewater Marine. And they sent me some drifting sinkers to try out. You hear that noise. Similar to like the drifting stick, the thing that's interesting about this one is, same kind of deal, clips onto your rig. It's got a little bend to it, which is good. This one is a soft tubing that actually will bend, and then it kind of snaps back to its size. So I'm curious if that makes a difference. Kind of like with some of the other drift singers people are doing, like Chris Flores. It's kind of hollow, nothing at the top, so I'm curious if that provides any flotation up. But the weights, I hadn't cut one apart. I'm not gonna cut one apart because I like them too much. It's got some rattling noise going on, so maybe if it's bouncing down through there, it will inside a bite. And they also sent me some of these that are a rattling lure. It's the same thing, similar to the Demon Dragon style. See, I'm not sure if they've got a name for them, but it's Firewater Marine. I'll put you a link later. I'm gonna do a video on this whole day. The thing that's a little different about this one that'll be interesting is on the back of it, the only thing I put on was the hook. On the back of it, it's got a split ring and a nice snap swivel, or a snap on there. Sorry, it's actually a swivel too. But what I did was something different. Instead of putting a leader, I put the hook straight onto there. So I'm gonna see how they do and see if that makes a difference. Today has not been a good example because I hadn't caught a fish on anything. So, but I'm fishing at just like a standard Santi rig. Got the sinker up here, and yeah, these at the back. So they're pretty, little purple life to it. So yeah, a little piece of cut, so I get wrapped in my GoPro. White perch on it. Let me get this one in the water, and then I've got another one that I'm gonna show you. I've got stuff already, I don't know, I've got probably, I think I'm gonna have 8 rods out total by the time it's over with. Hang on just a second, let me cast it out. Boom, she's in the water. Get you this one. Little different setup. This is actually what I call my planer board rod. I've got some planer boards. I got so many planer boards that I'm gonna have videos on. I even got some new ones at the conference. We're shooting some stuff on the planer boards today. I'll have those videos up. Trying out some different ones. I'll show you some stuff about that. But J.R. Cochran at New School Fishing, he's got a channel here on YouTube. You've probably seen me do some videos showing him before. New School, N-U-S-K-O-O-L. He sent me some line. It's a copolymer line, and I forgot the name of it again, but I'm doing a video on it. I'll have it up. It's actually turned out to be an excellent line. It has very little memory to it. It's cast like a dream, and when it hangs off the reel, there's no curl to it. So I'm gonna have a video, complete video up on that. Pretty cool line. He sent it to me, a big old spool. I need to get him the rest of it back. I put that line on these rods. They're Big Cat Fever rods that are the medium heavy version. And I use these just because it's a little stiffer rod pulling the planer boards. So I've had these for a while. You can tell there's a lot of fish guts on them suckers right there. But that's what it looks like if you're not familiar with them. Believe it or not, I know people say Big Cat Fever. Wow, everybody knows who they are. You would be amazed. I take so much for granted on this channel that people know about this, they know about that, and I get people once a week that are like, what's that rod you're using? Who makes it? That kind of thing. So, it's why a lot of times I go over stuff again and again on here, because somebody new is going to tune in and hopefully they can learn something. These were sent to me. Another one, a lot more similar to the Demon Dragon, the original. I don't know if you can hear it with the plane flying over. It's got the, it's a Zara Spook style blank. Cute little paint job. And that's by the people at, I'll turn around so you can read it maybe. Catfish Sumo. If you think of sumo wrestler, a big fat guy, kind of like me, except he's Japanese with a thing around his head and he's wearing like a loincloth. Don't picture me doing that, because I'm not going to be your Catfish Sumo. But that's the name of the people who make these, and they sent me some of these. Pretty cool colors. I think I got another one in here. They got, yeah, pretty cool. Got those, and I got this on a Santi rig. Instead of having the funky weight on this one, it's just a normal 2 ounce Pencil weight, I got these from Dale's Tackle. They've got them. These are excellent weights for about anything you do with them, including drifting. If you want a cheap alternative to some of the fancier drift weights, you can use those. And I'm actually looking at it. What I do is I drop it into the water, make sure the float is big enough to hold the bait up, and that's more than big enough. So I'll put this one up on the shoal over here. Cast while sitting. Woohoo! Bam. She's in the water. Hang on, I think I got some more of these in here. Yeah, can you send me with one of them big loincloth things on and come out to our sumo man-eater? Don't think about it too hard. Just don't start to envision it. It's not good. You'll lose sleep. Let me see what I got here. Yep. Aha. It's in my rig wrap container. This is one of the bigger rig wrap containers. Here we go. This is another one from Catfish Sumo. That's a little shad looking one. It's got a little iridescent color thing to it there. So yeah, it's another rig. It's the way I keep them in here in these rig wrap containers. It's a little bit overkill. It's a little bit big, but it's tied up and it's ready to go. So that's what we're up against. That's another one there that I keep stuff in. You can carry 3 in there. It's their lure locker. So bam, that's everything that's going on. I've got a little bit of current where I'm at. A little bit of water is moving through here. It's kind of, it's on the verge of being clear. We've had a lot of rain, and it's just like for a lot of you people in a lot of the country, it's been water's up and down. It's raining, it's falling. It's muddy for a while, it's clear for a while. Our lake is almost at full pond. See, I want to know what this is right here. What is that? What is that? Hungry? Is that somebody that wants to eat? As Mac Byron would say, what is it? Only the Mac or yin to feed? Only the what's his name knows. It's from a show back in the 50s. Somebody tell me what it is. Only the knows. What's it called? There's got to be an old timer in here that knows that show. Nobody's coming up with it yet. So only the, it's not the voice, knows. It's not the nose. It's, anyway. Whisker Sticks is asking, do I have any straight down under the boat? I do not. I'll be honest with you. I got everything fan cast out around the boat. It's mainly because I'm sitting fairly shallow. I'm on about 17 feet of water. So typically I don't fish straight under the boat shallow like this. Move my phone around here so I can get it. Not that you can't catch them, but I just don't. I've got them fan cast out. Plus I've got all Santi rigs on everything. And I just didn't. So probably be a good idea. That's probably where the fish are that are eating. But I saw a lot of this same stuff pulling up in here. I'll tell you what I will do. There could be perch in there. It just so happens that I have a rod here with a little bit of makeshift perch amida on it. I'm gonna drop it over the side, see if there's anything down here. I had this out earlier when I was dragging. This is basically my perch rig. It's what I use to catch white perch. We use for bait. Some of you guys who fish for, try to catch skipjack and stuff, that's kind of our equivalent here. It's a double hook rig, 2 little hooks, sinker on the end. I know you guys use like little flies and that kind of stuff to catch, not flies, but little jigs. But they're kind of a love fish here where we're at. I'll drop that in there just in case we got any perch working through here. Could be. And we'll see what happens. If y'all see a rod go, let me know. I've got too many planes flying over. Here's stuff real good. Somebody said something about perch heads and flatheads. They do like them. They do like them. When we're getting close, this water here is cold where I'm at. It's 49 degrees where I'm sitting. The 49.50, 49.9. The water down on the main, that's popping. That just got popped. I'm gonna keep this in my hand. The water out on the main lake was around 53, 54. So it's gonna get a little warmer and a little warmer. We're getting more and more daylight. Days are getting longer, more and more daylight hours. Still fairly chilly at night, but springs are coming. Good fishing's are coming. It's March. This is the time, mid-March to especially late March, we start to get some flatheads to turn on here, especially if we can get a little bit of warmth coming in. I missed him. I think that is some perch down there. Oop, got it. The perchy. Oh, he robbed my bait on one of them. Perfect bait size. Perfect bait size perch. He sucked the bait right off of that one. Maybe a whole stack of them down there. Maybe what a bunch of that is, and maybe some catfish swimming in with them. That's what they look like for guys that don't know. Look very similar to a white bass. Line structure's a little bit different on them. Body shape's a little bit different. A lot of people, especially when these things get big, when they get to about 3/4 of a pound, people really start to think they're white bass. Let me toss him in the live well, put me a new piece of meat on there. Yeah, the reel has a little bit of noise to it, but it's working. You know what's bad? I think that's an Abu Garcia too. It's a little piece of meat I put on there. They'll eat it. Looks like a little piece of fish, just a little piece of cut bait. Drop it over the side. Yeah, that's an Abu. Isn't that terrible to sound that bad? It's a shame. My stuff gets used and abused. It gets fished, it gets worked. We got to fish. That's a good thing. The skunk is gone. What I'm doing, people ask about catching these things. When they're schooled up and stacked up and biting, you can catch them like crazy. I mean, somebody mentioned a sabiki rig earlier I saw in the feed, and you can catch them like crazy. Just 6 at a time. We'll do a video on that later this year. But when they're lethargic and they're not biting, sometimes you got to aggravate them. And I do this kind of, it's almost like a jigging type thing. If you doing it striper fishing with spoons or something like that, sometimes lifting that and dropping it right in front of them will just get them mad to the point that they will start to feed. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a good little crowd of people in here. I have to move my head over here. Wow, 126. Thanks for dropping by, guys. In case there's anybody new, I'm Dieter. That's how you pronounce that funny name that's on this channel if you're new to it. German name, Southern accent. It's very confusing. But I fish, and occasionally I get to go. I thought I heard something creaking. I think that was the anchor rope. Sorry. But I fish. I'll try to go live. It's been real busy for me recently, just work and travel and stuff going on in the real world, and hadn't been on here much doing stuff. So a little FYI word too, also on my channel. Anybody that's, let me get this camera adjusted a little bit. If you're subscribing to the channel, looking at some of the videos, you will notice that my comments are turned off. At least they were this morning. That is not my doing. I missed him. I would not have it that way. That is a deal that is going on with YouTube. There has been apparently I guess you would call them a pedophile ring, or a group of people that have been using the comment section on YouTube to either communicate with each other or communicate information about videos that may be of interest to the weirdos. So what they did was, they turned off comments on almost every channel on YouTube that has any kids in any of the videos. And obviously my son and some of his friends have been in my videos. So as some type of safety precaution, they killed the comments on thousands of channels. Almost every family-oriented channel, comments have been killed on. Many of you know Luke Nichols from Catfishing Carp, one of the biggest, he is not one of, he is the biggest catfishing website on YouTube. He has another website with his kids called The Outdoor Boys. They turned all the comments off on it. So they're going to figure it out, hopefully. They're trying to, I guess, they're not giving out too much information because I think they kind of want to keep it kind of on the lowdown as far as what they're doing. But that's what's going on. It has nothing to do with the content in any of the channels. It's just the fact that I think people were, what I've heard different rumors. One is that they would communicate some type of code in the comments or something, and then they were sharing some of the videos, otherwise benign clips of, you know, kids swimming or something like that. They would copy and share and all kinds of weirdness. So, proof that there's just some crazy, weird people in the world. So anyway, that's what's going on with the comments. You can comment here. The live streams we're actually able to comment on. I did one the other day explaining that whole deal, and people were able to comment afterwards. So if you got any questions, comments about any of the videos, feel free to comment in this one, not just in the chat, but also later on. I was hoping y'all would bring me some luck and I would catch a catfish. I've got a perch. There it is. Only the shadow knows. Phil Luckadoo got it. That's one of Mac Byram's sayings. If y'all don't know who Mac is, check out Mac here on YouTube. He's one of my early mentors in chasing big catfish. He fishes up on Lake Norman. He's a guide. He's retired, and I've actually got a video here on my channel that you need to check out called Catfish Presents Fishing with Mac. That was the name of his guide service when he used to do guiding. It was called Fishing with Mac. And it's just a little bio on Mac. So yeah, only the shadow knows. Mac says that all the time. So yeah, great guy. Check out his channel. He does a very simple form of video. He filmed, that's gotta be perch underneath me. He just rolls from like one camera, puts it up, catches some fish, and is very simple about it. Good guy. He's a local legend. He's one of those guys that everybody knows, and everybody knows he knows where the fish are. So come on, fishies. Fishies, fishies, fishies. Gotta get one more. That looks like perch or something. I don't know what to do. I wish I had some minnows. I'm gonna try to be back out here tomorrow and bring some minnows with me. But oh, I missed. That was violent. Did you see the violence of which I tried to set that hook? I keep forgetting I've got J hooks on here. Normally I fish these rigs with circle hooks, number 8 octopus circle hooks, and I've got J hooks, and about halfway into that bite it hit me that I need to set the hook. So that was a swing and a miss. That's right there, Catfish Weekly, swing and a miss. You could feel the air off of that one sitting in your chair watching this one. Need to double up. Need to double up on here. By the way, I'm going to have a video up, a special one Thursday. I'm going to make you wait till Thursday on my channel. I'm putting one up tomorrow. One will be up tomorrow on crappie fishing out here on Lake Wylie. I said crappie the way most of the country says it, even though we call them crappie here in the South. Well, I ain't going to say the South because other parts call them crappie too. I think Richard Jean, the fishing machine, says crappie. So, and Richard's about as country as a handsaw. And down there in Alabama, so it's not a southern thing necessarily. What's funny is right now, guys, there's a guy over here on the bank standing there with a leaf rake in his hand looking at me, wondering who in the heck is that weirdo talking to. But yeah, Richard Jean calls them crappie, so it's a weird like thing. We call them crappie, whatever. I've got that video up tomorrow. Thursday's going to be a cool one. Make sure you check in Thursday. I'm going to show you what I believe, and we're going to explain why in great detail. What is the largest blue catfish ever caught in North America? I say North America because it's the only place blue catfish are. It's a video, and we're going to go into great depth and explanation proving why we think this is the largest catfish ever caught in North America. And we believe at least 10 to 15 pounds above the current world record. So one of the numbers, we got a range of numbers on it. One of them will shock you, just how big it is. So we go into great detail. Jeff Manning and I sit down. Jeff is a friend of mine. Jeff has a channel here on YouTube called Reelin' the Blues. I put a link on Dieter Melhorn Fishing to a air box that he does a DIY video on how to build an air box to put into your bait tank or live well for aerating your fish. I put that up on Dieter Melhorn Fishing on Facebook yesterday, so there's a link on there. Go watch that. Check out his channel. Jeff's a master carpenter, and he knows numbers, understands them very well, understands measurements, and we sit down together and go over a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of pictures from John Summers, the guy who caught this fish, and we go over it in great detail and get a real good estimation on exactly how big this fish is, and I think you'll find it very interesting. And that'll be up Thursday. We're gonna put that one up Thursday. Glenn, I thought I saw you in here from Rig Wrap. No, I haven't caught a fish. I've caught one white perch, no catfish. It's a catfish skunk right now. Oh, I just missed another one. I need my braid back. Man, I gotta have my braid back. I've got monofilament on these things, some very light, like 4-pound mono for crappie. And I need my mono. I wouldn't have missed, I need my braid. If I'd had my braid, I'd have caught both those fish. Dang, this bite's bad. But anyway, yeah, the catfish bite is not doing good today. One perch, and that is it, man. I've heard different things. There's been some time of day reports that certain times of day the fishing's really good out here. And then I've had some time of day reports that it's really bad on the time that I'm out here. So, oh, Glenn, I need to get that. I need to get you the address of the guy who won the scale. We had a guy at the Catfish Conference. We're doing a live feed. Glenn gave away a scale. We had somebody win it. And I've lost the contact stuff for the person who won it. It was in a message, and I can't find that message. So it's somewhere. But hey, we got a lot of people in here. I hope everybody's doing good. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dieter Melhorn. That's the name. That's how you pronounce my name, in case you're wondering. I know it says Dieter. You would think that would be a play on the words because I'm fat and I use that name, but it's not. It's a German name. And this is my channel. I do some live stuff, do some edited stuff. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for checking it out. I'm really trying to get y'all to just break my curse right now and put a catfish in the boat. So, yeah, nobody's gonna badmouth you, Glenn. That's partly my fault because I got back from there and it turned into crazy land for me. So this is actually stuck him. Oh, Misty fell off. Dadgummit. Fell off on the way up. That stuff sounds like braid coming in, don't it? It sounds bad. Need some grease in there. I think that old dry silicone in there is not working. We're gonna get one in a second. In case you guys wondering what I'm doing, I'm fishing for catfish. I'm anchored up. I've got 8 rods out. Earlier in the feed, I showed some of the new rattles that I've got on here that I'm trying out, some new sinkers that I'm trying out. So make sure you catch the first part of this. I will have long form videos on these, edited videos, kind of explaining all the stuff. But what I've got in this hand is just a spinning rod, trying to catch some white perch that seem to be in here underneath the boat. I got a little double hook rig down, sinker on the bottom, then up from it about that far. I've got 2 hooks, and these perch are not really active right now. I can just tell by the way the bite is. Typically when they're on fire, they hit pretty quickly. Trying to incite a little bit of a bite out of them, that's not working. So what do you do then? Let the bait sit. I know that's kind of crazy, but sometimes these things just get really weird and bite weird, and they start biting like crappie. It's just kind of a real subtle bite. So it's just a struggle, man. Struggle's real. See, like right now, I'm not really moving it, just letting it sit. There's stuff down there. I don't know if that's perch. This is not the best fishing water in the world. It's a little bit dingy and stained, but typically white perch don't like to feed in this stuff. They're almost like stripers. They're not really big muddy water fans, but just like striper, they will, when they're hungry and pushed, will feed. So let's see who we got in here in the chat. A lot of people coming in. Thanks for dropping by, guys. If there's anything I'm good to catch you later. Somebody's got to go to work. Man, I would not want to go to work this late in the day. That's no fun. What's that? Get yourself some ceramic bearings. Unbelievable difference. I think the bearings would probably cost more than this reel did. I think this is a little clearance Abu from Walmart. It's a good place, by the way, guys. Scan the clearance bin at Walmart whenever they have that stuff. You can find some deals like this on some reels pretty dang cheap. Who was that? Was that Jason that was asking shallow water? Not really. I'm sitting at about 16 feet. I've kind of got some stuff up there in about 8 feet. It's not super shallow. That's not what I call really shallow water fishing. That's medium water in my world. My idea of shallow is like 5 feet and under. That's when I start talking shallow. These perch that I'm seeing, or the couple of bites that I've had, have been right on the drop into the river channel. This channel doesn't get super deep right here. It's about 24 feet. So it's not deep by any means. There's a little bit of current. I'm seeing some stuff float by. I mean, it's maybe a 0.3 current. I mean, it's slow, but the water is moving just enough to carry some scent down through here. So you would think, if there's anything, old buzztail, there's the one I was looking for. Do me a favor, message me again. Wherever you message me at, I saw it, I was at the conference, and I've lost it. Message me again, either on Facebook or here or Instagram, one of them. Wherever it's at, it's gone. I can't find it. Glenn Buzztail is the one who won it, so there you go. That's what we got to get taken care of. That was what we were just talking about. Pan the camera around, trying to figure out where you're at. Josh, I'll tell you exactly where I am. I'm gonna turn the camera around. You won a tournament. Yeah, that's what you get for asking, pal. I'll show you. You were sitting right up there, and you fished right there, and you won a tournament one night. Fishing, I think we had a flathead tournament, but that's where you were sitting at right there. So, yeah, does that clear it up, Annie? I shot off your spot. That's terrible, isn't it? Isn't that terrible? It's just a mean thing. No, I'm in a South Fork. I'm halfway between the hot water discharge of the dam. Just happened to go riding up through here. It's going to run up the river a little bit. And cool, that'll work on Instagram. Thanks, buddy. Was going to run up, and there was a bunch of stuff in the river channel. I saw a bunch of bait, perch, something stacked up, so I decided to stop in here and fish a little bit. Figured I'd find one stupid one. So far, that hasn't happened. So it is what it is, what it is, what it is. These suckers are not wanting to hit. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Hope you're doing good, Josh. Any of y'all know Josh Coggins? He's part of the brain trust that runs the Southeastern Catfish Club. In my opinion, the Southeastern Catfish Club is the best tournament series in the entire country. So I'm talking a series. I think it's the best series in the entire country. I think the way it's run, the way they do things, the way they're oriented, especially to be a part-time run series, the way they are, say part-time as in not having full-time employees to do it. Great run tournament series. And if you're in the Southeast, I tell you to come fish it, but I think everybody in the Southeast already fishes it because they're averaging over 50 boats a tournament now. And this is for like I said, this is just on the Catawba chain of lakes. I think they fished 3 different reservoirs here. I think it's September through May, and they're averaging like at least 50 boats. I mean, I'm hearing there's many tournaments higher than that. So to get that many boats on a local tournament, you got to be doing something right, and they're doing something right. They've got Sea Arc has stepped up and is giving, I think, $500 to the highest place finisher in a Sea Arc boat in those tournaments. So that says something right there, that when a company as big as Sea Arc is willing to pay that kind of money in a local tournament, that tells you, and I say local because it's just really on, you know, it's probably in a 75-mile stretch of water where all these tournaments are done. So hats off to Sea Art for doing that, and they've got some good sponsor deals with some people. You have to check out their Facebook page, Southeastern Catfish Club, and it's got all the information on there. And I go to their website, I think has more information, southeasterncatfishclub.com. I think that's where they got all their information, stuff with their sponsors and stuff. A lot of people contributing stuff, so that's why I like them. Good plug for them. I wish I could fish more of them. They're fun to fish, but it just doesn't work out with my schedule. I was hoping I was going to get to fish one. When was it? Last weekend. It was on my favorite lake to fish, only because I do good there, not because I like the lake. The only time I actually fish that lake is when there's a tournament there. But I ended up having to do a shoot that weekend, a Dr. Phil shoot too. So I digress. We're off in a different direction. This is what happens when I don't catch fish. So anybody that's new to the channel, thanks for dropping by and checking it out. This is my first time back in about a month of fishing. I was saying this earlier, and it's tough. I hadn't caught a fish today. Well, I caught the perch. I was hoping, and I did a bunch of dragging, covered a lot of water, and this is just kind of what I was expecting to happen today until I figure out what's going on. Fishing the upper end of the lake, fishing with white perch. It's fresh bait. It's in my bait tank at home. I brought them in alive, and but there's just not a lot of magic happening. So that's the way it goes. A reminder to anybody that came in late: 8 o'clock tonight, Catfish Weekly. That is a live show. Happens every Monday night here on YouTube, right here where you're at. Just punch in Catfish Weekly. You'll see it. Be sure to subscribe. Smash a little notification. They're very punctual and start to show at 8 o'clock every week. And it's a fun show to listen to. We always got a lot going on in the chat, kind of like we do on here. Just a lot of beer will take the skunk away. I bet that house has some beer. Bet they do. Well, you know what else they say will take it away? A shameless plug for one of your sponsors, Shad Shack Bait Tanks. That's Diet. No, yep, that's Diet Sundrop. Shad Shack Bait Tanks, the best bait tank made. Look at this mug. This is he's gonna hate me for showing you this because he doesn't sell these. He just made me one and some other people. Look at that. It's got bait fish on the other side of it. It's got the Shad Shack little logo over here, some faux wood grain, and then your bait fish over here, a little bait fish identification chart. I think Shad Shack Bait Tanks needs to be making one with a flathead, a blue catfish, a channel catfish, and maybe a bullhead down at the bottom. I think some of y'all would buy them. I think they would. But that's a cool mug. Yeah. Now Shad Shack, I don't have it on here now. It's actually going on before this weekend, because I'm probably going to try to do some striper fishing later in the week. They make bait tanks here locally, and similar to some of the other ones that are out there. I think it's the super bait tank and some of those. Similar to those, it's got a better filter system on it. It's got a really cool filter system. You can, if any of y'all have ever had a bait tank, it's got the filter stuff in it. You pull it out, usually you knock loose a bunch of crap and it gets knocked back in your tank. The way this thing is designed, you can change out the filters individually, and there's always a filter in place. It's got a floor. Everything is sucked into it out of the floor, which if you've had a bait tank, you know that all the crap, poop, and scales end up in the bottom of the tank. It goes into that drain, sucked over to the filter side. So it's a pretty cool product. I've got one that I use on here when I'm keeping shad. When I'm keeping perch and stuff, I don't really need it, but I put it on here if I'm going to load up. It's a 50-gallon tank, and I can put a pile of white perch into the tank. So it's a little bit big for my boat. They got, I think, 3 different sizes, 30, 40, and 50-gallon tanks, and they make custom ones. So they're a cool product. So, and he makes a pretty mug. Pretty mug. Nice. This is what happens. You mentioned beer, and then I go off on a tangent talking about the mugs. So there you I got to hop off here and start working on my online store. Have a good night. Who was that there? Ozark Guys Fishing. We'll see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. Good show tonight. Good bunch of people came in. I wish the fishing was better. I'm going to try to get out and go live a few more times this week. Just seeing what's going on. Muddy River Catfishing in the house. What's up, pal? Hello from New Mexico. He always wins the award for being the one that's the furthest away. He'll probably win again tonight. All right, real quickly, who is the furthest away? Chris is in New Mexico, so y'all know where New Mexico is. Let's chime in. Is there anybody from Oregon, maybe? We got anybody from California? There's usually somebody that chimes in from California. It's hard to beat that unless you go way to the northeast. England? Are you serious? Is this true? Christopher Davies, are you really in England? Seriously? If it's England, that's further than New Mexico. I can tell you that right there. I failed geography, but I can tell you right now, England is a lot further than New Mexico. So that's cool. Thanks for watching from England. Thanks for tolerating me slaughtering the Queen's English. And hopefully you don't need a translator or subtitles to actually understand what I'm saying. If you actually are born and raised there, you get it. You know we talk funny. So anyway, got people from all over the country, some Georgia, some Oklahoma, Canada geese. Yes, Canada geese. Those lovely poop dumping animals. I almost had to hit one in the head the other day. Oh, wait. I thought I was getting a perch there. We were doing a shoot, and we had a goose that was a pain in the butt, and they were trying to shoo it away. And as many of y'all know, if you try to shoo a goose away, they will stand their ground and snap at you and everything else until you slap them in the head with an open palm. They will leave you alone after that. Luckily, it scurried off, and the little producer I was working with would have had a heart attack had I open slapped a goose. But they're mean. Geese are mean. They're mean animals. So see who else is here. Kentucky. I love Kentucky. Let's see who else. Shut that bird up. Does it sound that loud? That's funny. It's amazing how loud something can be, because I have no idea on the audio on the shoreline. Man, it's a weird bite on these things. It's like a boom, 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 boom. It's almost like a crappy bite. I'm gonna catch one just to show you what they look like, especially people who came in late. What bait are you fishing today? I've got white perch. I had a bunch of them in my tank at home, alive. They was fresh bait. Filleted them out here. I've got a couple of perch heads out and fillets on the rest of them. So it's good fresh bait, good bloody bait. So yeah, it's no reason for the fish not to bite, but Christopher said he fishes for catfish. What I think he said catfish and carp over in England. Oh, okay, yeah, very cool. I'm sure you know Luke Nichols from Catfish and Carp, the YouTube channel. I think he's actually been over to England fishing. I know he went to Italy or somewhere this summer on a little camping trip with his son doing some fishing. So a lot of people don't realize just how big carp fishing is over in Europe. That's where I think a lot of our reels and technology with reels that we use in the catfish world actually kind of came from, was the carp fishing world over there. It's very, very, very big. Tell us, what is a big carp in Europe? How big do they get, and what type are y'all catching? I know over here we've got what is it, smallmouth buffalo, we got the grass carp. There's a couple of different ones. What is a big carp over in England? I'm curious if they get as big. We're actually, this lake I'm on is the 68-pound carp. Okay. We're home to Lake Wylie is home to the world record for I want to say it's a smallmouth buffalo. Who was it that caught it, guys? Tony Crawford, I think was his name, back in the 80s, I believe. And dude, they're popping that thing, and it's just a bump on it. Somebody saying yellow, must be yellow carp. But yeah, it was huge. I want to say, was it 78 pounds? Is that right? Is that right? Something like that. So we got them in here. We have a lot of carp lakes. I know there's a lot of controversy in the catfish world with pay lakes as people. 88-pound buffalo. There you go, James. Because that thing was put in a lake near your house. I think they took it over to Midway Lakes. But yeah, our pay lakes here where we're at are carp lakes. Some of them have catfish in them, but there's a lot of carp fishing lakes where they basically, it's legalized gambling. It's basically, they have these carp tournament deals and some other shady dealings that go on. And they fish for carp in these lakes. And yes, these carp are caught out of public waters, just like it's done with the catfish. They're caught in the public waters, taken to these lakes and sold. And people fish for them. And you basically draw a spot on the bank that starts out at the beginning of the night, and they draw names, pull numbers out of a hat. You get a spot, you go fish it. It's spots maybe as wide as this boat, and you basically cast your stuff straight out there. And basically what it turns into is a chumming competition. The key is to cast your balls of bait, which are about as big as a baseball. And I'm not kidding. Maybe a tennis ball, but a big chunk of this pack bait. Cast it out there, you pack it onto the hook, and cast it without slinging it off, which is why I never got into it, because I could never cast the thing worth of crap. And but yeah, you basically try to hit the same spot every time. And are basically chumming them in. Whoever has the scent that is working that night catches the fish. So and you win money. They usually have hourly prizes and different stuff going on. So it's interesting world. That's where our carp, that's what our pay lakes are around here, the mostly carp lakes. So and there's a pile of them. There's probably within 25 miles of my house, there's probably a dozen of them. And it's a popular way of fishing. Oop. We might have a rod that's getting hit over here. Be very quiet. I'm just kidding. You don't have to be quiet. I was trying to make it exciting. Thought I seen a rod move a little bit. It's really sad we hadn't got a catfish yet. And I've got some small baits out too. I've got this mixed up. You would think somebody would eat, but just no luck. You would think I'd get something on this perch rod, but not looking good. What time is it? We've got an hour until Catfish Weekly, guys. An hour to go. It's right here on YouTube, so you don't have to go far. You got time to order a pizza. Take a shower. If you shower tonight, you can shower before Catfish Weekly, so you can watch it clean. And yeah, it'll be Lyle, you're in here. I saw you a minute ago. What is on Catfish Weekly tonight? Glenn, I see your question. What kind of rig am I using? I'm using a Santi rig. Reason being, we got a little bit of current here. It's going to float the bait up off the bottom in the current, and it's sitting up there just right for the striking. It's the way I like to fish these when I've got a little bit of current. Sometimes putting stuff on the bottom is fine. If I've got a super big bait, I'll fish them on a Carolina rig on the bottom. I usually, especially small to medium sized baits, I float them up off the bottom. Catfish, where's something? What's that, safety? We are discussing safety tonight. Oh God, I'm gonna get spanked. I don't have my life jacket on. I can already tell I'm gonna get called out in the show tonight. Yep, I don't have it on. I don't have it on. Yeah, I'm bad. You should. It's a good idea to do it. I'm bad to not do it. If you watch any of my night feeds, I always put it on at night. I'm not so worried about my actions as I am actions of other people running into me. Yeah, but I'm bad. One thing about my boat, one reason I like my boat, and one of the reasons I will have whatever my next boat is will be a boat like mine, is the size on this boat are very high. It hits me when I'm standing up right above the knees, and I'm not a big fan of boats that are the sides on them are low. I don't want the side of the boat hitting me mid-calf. I think it's way too easy to fall out of a boat like that. That's why I don't like bass boats. That's just a safety thing as far as a personal preference. Yeah, you're not as close to the water. but it doesn't affect me landing fish. I like the safety of having higher sides on the boat. It's like, it's why some of the boats, the Hughes Craft that I saw, oh man, if you hadn't seen the Hughes Craft boats, go look at them. That's a boat. That's a catfish. That's got to be perch. That's got to be perch. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I got to see if I can hit one. I fish out of a Carolina skiff. Somebody just said that. I think somebody may have asked that. A 198 DLV. I've had it forever. It's paid for. I think it's 11 years old now. And it's a comfortable boat. Not the fastest boat in the world, not the biggest boat in the world, but I fish alone most of the time. If I want to tournament fish, I've got room for a live well up front. Ooh, we got a bump. I've got room for a live well up front that I can put on and off the boat, so it does the trick. But if I wanted something that would take rough water, this thing, as I say, tolerates rough water. It is not fun in rough water. Something like that Hughes Craft is a sweet, sweet boat. I like the deep D design to it. I like the room behind the console, how much room you got back there to fish and move around. When I'm guiding, I'd like to have something like that because that's a very comfortable, workable boat. But anyway, we're talking about boat safety. I like flotation in a boat. I like something in the floor. That's one thing about these boats. They say these Carolina skiffs, you can cut them in half and both halves will float. Dang, there's something just barely bumping on that. Somebody said bluegill earlier. It could be bluegill. Because our bluegill are still deep right now. But they say these Carolina skiffs, you can cut them in half because of the flotation and underneath the floor and both halves will float. So at least you got something to cling on to. I like some type of flotation. It's why if I'm ever gonna be in a metal boat, it's gonna have flotation in it. I've known people that have either sunk or partially sunk metal boats before, and you ask how can that happen? Well, you get out in some rough water. It's rare that we get too much here, but down towards Santi Cooper, if you do any ocean fishing, which most people don't, but if you get on some big water like Santi, you can get killed. The waves aren't necessarily super high, but the time between them is very short, and it ends up getting you into a lot of straight up and down, and then that's when your bow ends up punching through a wave. And I've said before, and I may be wrong on this, but one wave never sinks a boat. The second wave is usually what sinks the boat, because what happens is you punch your nose through a wave and take on, 600 or 800 pounds of water. All of a sudden you're sitting 3 inches lower in the water. The next one that hits you, you're filling the boat up. So that's why I like having a boat if it's going to be a metal boat with flotation. So some boats have them, a lot of them don't. So that's why I like the high sides. I like a high transom. And I know that's a totally different tangent and probably where y'all going tonight with the show, but that's my kind of boom, stuck him. You think I would just like hooked a 6-pounder for the Bassmaster or something? Whoa, big one. Now this is the ones here. Let me get this thing here this here, you can make some sandwiches out of if you get you a mess of these. By the way, do you know why they call it a mess of fish? I'm gonna tell you in a second. Hi, this is Dieter Melhorn Fishing. Do you know why it's called a mess of fish? Stay tuned and I'm gonna tell you. These are the ones that start to get confused with the white bass. Nice little sucker there. He's a good sized one. You get some of these, you can have a sandwich. Yeah, that's what the notorious white perch looks like. Obviously a white bass, these lines on here, you can see the lateral line that's really well defined, but these other lines start to get more and more defined. So very cool, that's what they look like. And the funny thing was that one hit like a freight train. That was not a subtle bite, so it's got me second guessing what some of the other ones might have been. So looks like bait to me. That is correct. Here's the rig. Just a little double hook rig. Got some little small J's on there. I don't know. Those are probably number 6s. Not a sinker on the end. So you can see it's not sitting that far up off the bottom. I just bumped the bottom with them. This is like bottom bumping. But this is like bottom bouncing for catfish, except with smaller bait. So, where was I? I was getting ready to tell you. Oh, why is it called a mess of fish? We caught a mess of fish today. Why is it called a mess of fish? Anybody? Yeah, drop shotting. It is really drop shotting. It's very, very similar. You know why it's called a mess of fish? Because when you get home, you got to clean them. Clean, mess, get it? Clean the mess, clean. I know. Stick to fishing. Stick to fishing. Don't worry about the comedy routine. So, remember that one though. See if we can get another one to do a little thunk here. At least I've caught 2 fish. Just a shout out to you from Trinity River, Point Blank, Texas. What's up, man? What's up from Texas? People all over the country. That's the, I was telling somebody today, I think it was James. Kingfisher, I'm only sitting in 15 feet of water. So, and I'll show you what these things, this looks like some on here right now. That kind of looks, especially that one kind of sticking up there out of the mess of stuff. There we go. Let me get this back on here. Is it high pressure or low pressure? I have no idea. I have not, what's bad is, I looked at which way the wind was blowing, and that's really all I kind of care about. We've got some clouds, not bad clouds, and we had a little bit of a front come through. I would say a little bit of a low pressure. That would be my guess. I would say we have a falling barometer. I'm just gonna guess. I really don't pay too much attention to it. I know the bite sucks either way, and that's gotta be perch. That's a bunch of them now. Let's see if I can get somebody aggravated here. See what happens. Boom. Oh, thump, 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 thump. Daddy went thump. Daddy missed. Daddy missed. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sometimes I say stupid stuff. Come on, bite. That's perch spaghetti. That's right. That's what it looks like. It looks like spaghetti when they get really fired up. It looks like 200 stripers down there. I mean, they're just usually held a little tighter to the bottom. Which I would think, if we got white perch pulled up in here, let me jig this a little bit. It may be what it takes to get that school fired. You would think there'd be some catfish around it, but who knows? We're only allowed to fish 1 hook on a rod any time by law, but we're allowed 4 beach fishing. Yeah, you know, that's the thing I take for granted, and we're very lucky. We don't have any limit on rods. We don't have any limit on hooks. And I guess that's good. I mean, we've got an abundance of fish, and it doesn't seem like it's hurting anything. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. But I know some of you guys, man, it's 1 hook, 1 rod kind of deal. And that would totally change the way people fish, obviously. And I'm just curious what it would do to the fishery as far as protecting bigger fish. I mean, obviously, it's a lot harder to catch fish when you've only got 1 rod. So, you know, I don't know. Of course, some days there's only 1 rod catching. You have 8 or 10 rods out, and you can only got 1 rod that's catching all of them. So, yeah, I'm curious what would happen with that, but that's not happening anytime soon. I will tell you something that's going to happen, I think, here in North Carolina, which is where I'm fishing right now, is that they're actually getting ready to do some research and some documentation further than what we've been doing. And you might have seen this on my Dieter Melhorn fishing page on Facebook. Because they asked for public comments from it. If you hadn't, go to Dieter Melhorn Fishing on Facebook and scroll down, and you'll see a link there to the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. I think they're still allowing public comment. If they are, go fill out the survey. I did, and gave them a big, long diatribe. But I'll keep everybody posted on what's happening there. But they're actually talking about, I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. It appears they're looking at protecting trophy fish on some systems and possibly trying to up the protection on the native species on others. Translation, eradicate the flatheads and the blues. So at least that's the way I'm reading it. That may be wrong, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I know there's a lot of the smaller catfish that are truly native to the Carolinas, the mad toms and stuff, that just aren't as prevalent, and they're probably getting eaten by flatheads and blues. So they are to blame. So I understand what they're doing. So we'll see what happens with it, though. It sounds like they're still halfway interested in protecting the blues on apparently this river system. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. As I've said before, they talk about invasive species. You'll hear that term thrown around and assigned to especially us east of the Appalachian Mountains. Flatheads invasive. They're not native to most of our waterways here. And they call them invasive, but I've always said the biggest invasive species is a concrete dam. Anytime you put a concrete dam on a river system and flood thousands, tens of thousands of acres, you've changed that waterway forever. It will never be what it was. The native species will not live and function the same way they did when it was a river. So our biggest invasive species is the concrete dam. And until we start tearing those down, we're going to have to live with the man-made fishery that we've created. And so that's always my argument on a lot of this is, it's not the way it used to be, and it's not going to be. And we got to figure out a way to do what we can to protect the native species, but also keep the recreational fishermen fishing. So, God, that's got to be perch, and they're not biting. I'm going to jig the crap out of them here. It's just really make them mad. Anybody's new to the channel, I'm Peter Melhorn. Thanks for dropping by. Just out here doing a little bit of fishing, getting dark. Gonna be heading out here in a minute. Want to stop in and say hey for a little bit. Try to catch a catfish. Try to get the skunk out of the boat, but I got a feeling I'm going home with the skunk on the catfish. And remind everybody that here in 45 minutes, Catfish Weekly comes on right here on YouTube at 8 o'clock. So make sure you check that out. Lyle said they're talking about some boat safety or some stuff tonight. So fishing safety, something like that. So should be cool, should be interesting. Man, if I had minnows, I could catch those things. That is a lot of suckers. Flip this around. Perch does count, but I want the catfish. Yep, there they are. I'm actually in 18 feet of water. It's deeper than I thought. Yeah, that looks like perchies. Pretty sure. That's what they look like when they're stacked up. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. That is just beautiful right there. Nice. Well, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. I appreciate y'all stopping by. One last chance fish was I'm going to actually go get home. Let me try one more thing. I'm going to do the reel and drop. Sometimes you do the drop through the column of fish and it incites a bite. Wait for it. Oh, look at the light. A little bit of sun coming out right below the clouds right there at dark. Pretty. Because I want to get home to catch Catfish Weekly. Since I can't catch catfish, I need to catch Catfish Weekly. I quit. It's not happening. Can't catch one. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Remember, the comments are turned off by YouTube right now until they figure out their problem. God, I got to give y'all one more beautiful shot here. Look at the light coming in. Let me flip over. Tops of those trees there. Look at that. A little bit of sun peeking out from behind the clouds, just kissing the tops of the trees. Wow. There she is setting on that side. Yeah, I think the last time I did a feed and the fish weren't biting, as I was reeling stuff in, we get what I call the reeling it in bite. It's very similar to a barge bite, but it happens when you start reeling the rods in. It's almost like it's, uh-oh, food's leaving, better go eat it now. Mama's taking the plate off the table. We gotta go eat. One more, see if I can just jig the heck out of one. It's not gonna do it. One more cast. Who said that? One more cast. Who watched that show? Who said that? Who had the show? One more cast. Come on. Come on. You gotta fess up. Come on. You gotta fess up. You're a bass if you watch bass fishing. It's okay. I did too. I watched it too because he's a great guy. One more cast. Who had that show? Quit Googling. Somebody's Googling. I can hear the Googling. You didn't Google the Hank Parker. Come on. Hank Parker Outdoors. Shaw. Did you say Rigsby? Grigsby. That's right. Yep. So, yeah, Shaw's a good guy. Real good guy.